The third triangle is called the set. So we have our two base triangles, and then the third triangle is the set. This delivers the shot and has to do with the strength, finesse, and so we can see how the shot and body coordinate together and make sense. From here, there are three planes of propel. We want to get our two fingers behind the wrist. What does this do? It locks the 7 bones that are off the wrist, that are not attached. Only one bone is attached, and that's the one closest to the thumb. So 2 fingers behind the wrist as we go up. The green is the air, the power between, as we talked about earlier. Now we're going to go up. Now as we're going up and out, we've got the same relationship now. As we've got the reds defining by the thumb. The thumb being back like that is perfect because that's what's going to whip the ball. And it's going to be like a spaceship going through the atmosphere. It has to go through and it has to plunge through. If it doesn't, then it's going to get stuck there. And that's just like the thumb. The thumb has to break the atmosphere, and it doesn't need to break the atmosphere until the very top of our shot. So this is called the vertical phase right now, the up and down. He wants to make sure we get the ball up. The 2 fingers are still behind the forearm with the set. 2 at the same time. 2 fingers. 5-finger balance. Now we're going to go up 1 more. This finally is the release phase. We've got the increment of all the balance and memory and predetermined postural set of that third posture. So Jerry West, who has done this so many times in his career, he had this habitually. To have this in a predetermined state allows someone to say, why was his shot so good? It was so good because he practiced so much. And he was able to get these determinants to be repeatable. And that allowed the results to be the way they were. So at the final stage now, he's looking to control the side to side, which is the horizontal phase. Because as he releases the ball, what can happen here is that the 2 fingers being behind the wrist with the ceiling scrape, releasing the ball behind the wrist helps get the ball up and out. 2 fingers, index and middle, scrape the ceiling. Pointer finger, and now as he releases the ball, he can, through and due to the ball's weight and that has slipped one way or the other, deviate, which means his fingers can face inward or outward. But in having a preset knowledge or practicing like he did over and over again, his 2 fingers don't move side to side. So that causes a portal. That's a perfect path to the basket. And the other fingers give a beautiful chained release, a webbing type of a release, so that he gets 2 fingers at the same time releasing the ball to his index finger. The shoulder, elbow, thumb hand is the third triangle, and it's the one that deserves the most attention because it is so unstable. Why? Because the thumb is only supported by 1 bone out of 8. It's called the scaphoid bone. And the thumb joint is called the saddle joint. Ironically so, the 7 others, bone-wise, behind the wrist are controlled by the muscles in the back of the forearm, which is ignited by that catching the ball and the thumb being to his chest so that he can whip it forward. So when you see the thumb whip forward like he does, that is those two muscles that he brought it in, is the brachialis, which is under the bicep, and the brachial radialis, which helps support the thumb so it doesn't slip out. And it keeps all those 7 bones right intact. Now that deserved its explanation, as this was the long form explanation. And I'll do the short form explanation on the next one.